This pop-up is really quite nice and simple and very effective. And the only tricky part, if we can call it that, is actually making the folds. So let me just very quickly run through. I printed the cover and the inside pattern, which again can be of your choice, and the guidelines here. This is where we're going to stick everything down. And then I've cut out basically just the two elements that are involved in this particular pop-ups. We've got the bottles, the champagne bottles, and we've got the wine chiller here as well. So if I just move those to one side, what I'd like to do is just concentrate on this. So the champagne bottle is really the main element of this pop-up, and although simple enough to cut out and to put all the creases in, there's a little bit of folding involved, which is a little bit tricky, but I'll show you how we do that. And incidentally, this is the same mechanism that we use on the Castle CD-ROM to lift the knights up and down. So I've gone ahead now and I've just scored all my lines here, but I want to show you a couple of points. First of all, that line comes up to the red line there. It's faint, but you will see it, and the red line here is a cut line. So you will need to just cut that to the fold line there, and I'll just come along and just cut that so we can see now it releases that particular champagne bottle there. Okay, when that's done, I'm just going to now go along and put all my fold lines in. Give myself a little bit of room here. And this line here, it comes forward up to the point there, and then it's actually going to go backwards, but we'll see how that happens in a moment. The next thing to do is I'll just fold this line, so I've come up, and this again is another crease line, and we've just got to just work it, and there's no other way. Put a nice strong crease in it and just push that down, and you'll start to see it begin to fold like so. And then I'll just work on the other side as well, because that needs to come up. And once they both begin to work, the whole thing will move for us. So putting my finger underneath, just squeeze on there and pinch it right up to that point, and suddenly it all starts to go, as we can see there. That's now folding. Those two line up there. Now if I can just show you, you can see the shape we've got here. That will be lying flat in the card, but as we open it, the bottles rise up and down like this. There's a little bit of gap here. You have to make sure that there's enough between it and the object. But you see, we just get this lift mechanism as they rise vertically upwards as we pull on the sides there. So that's basically it for this mechanism and the folding. So it's really a case of getting those creases up like that and then just folding everything together. And your final one should look like this. Our next task now is just to crease along the 4 lines that you see here for the wine cooler. Give those a fold, just crease and fold along like so, along the 4 lines. And then what we're going to do now is put that down onto the base. But before that goes on, we're going to put the champagne bottles in first. It's just a bit easier that way. I've folded the base paper down the centre line, which we can see there. I now need to put the champagne bottles, we've pre-folded those. I'll glue the tabs and they're going to go onto here. Remember, there's quite a lot of pressure on this. I'm using the tape gun, which is fine, there's a nice big area. You might be better off with the wet glue. Now we can do this flat because we've actually got the fold marks there. But in true tradition, if you fold it over and put it like that and then squeeze it down, you know it's in exactly where it wants to go for the paper. And if I open up now, you can see we've got our champagne bottles rising up and down. So that's that element there. Now what we need to do is just come back and put the wine cooler over it. Again, 2 marks, it's very, very simple this. So I'll simply glue my wine cooler foot there, and one last crease, because that folds this way, make sure that goes in nicely. Just helps it open and close a little bit. That will just cover the line so you won't see it. And again, we could fold this in half, or let me just glue this particular part here. you can do it if you want to in situ like that, although it's already raised. This is one of those rare occasions when you can actually work in that particular way, or you can just close it all up. And now as we open up the card, our champagne bottles rise up. Quite spectacular, very, very simple card to make and put together. Few elements, but of course it's all in the presentation, and it really is, I think, quite a fun card, this one. You can alter the backgrounds, you could add some spirally bits coming off if you want to. This is just the basic serving suggestion, but as you can see, it really does make a magnificent card. And I tell you what, this is one I never cease to amaze me and have fun with one of these. Remember, as I said earlier, that we've used this mechanism in the castle card, and I very quickly skipped over that. And just to show you that we've got the knight here, and that's the same principle of it lining up and then coming over and then just gluing those parts one either side of the centre line. Let me just show you here very quickly. So you can see what we're doing now is lining up the corner within the crease there, that part there, and then fold that over, and that will find its position. As you can see now, we can open and close it. So that's how that particular mechanism works. It's the same as this. You can use that and develop your own ideas for your own pop-up cards.